back at it, because that's what we doing. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News Second Edition. I am your host, and welcome to the Gout Report. Oh yeah! All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring you guys back to 2014. DSP tries it, whining about unmodding people who don't agree with him, and victimization. This is brought to us by LD. The link will be down in the description. Holy shit. Alright, so we're crying about unmodding people and about people who don't agree with him, and then him being a victim. This isn't anything new. I mean, you know what I'm saying? For most of you, you probably think this is a 2017 thing, maybe even a 2016 thing. It goes far. This rabbit hole, if you will, is a deep one. There's all kinds of filth in the pig pen. You know, we don't need to go ahead and go any further with it. Should be a good video, though. I'm not going to hold you guys up. Let's go ahead and get right into the situation, shall we? Because that's where the fun part is. Hopefully you guys got your Snortbucks coffee next to you, or your Tim Snortons, or your hard Snorts gin and tonic, toxic flavor that'll never waver. Because if you're like Darksydephil, it's 4 o'clock somewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys in just a second. Holy shit. Oh, it's time to get that work.
Okay, what is going on, everybody? Hello, and welcome to the stream. It is Wednesday afternoon, at least for me. It is Wednesday.
At least for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with LD. DSP tries it, whining about unmodding people who don't agree with him, and victimization. This is from July 10th of 2014. The link to LD's video will be down in the description. Let's get it. Holy shit.
I'm thinking it is for you as well, although there is a possibility that there are some people who are not in the United States who are watching, who it may be a little bit later, and that is awesome if you are. Love my international fans and viewers as well. So thanks for being here. Today, ladies and gentlemen, is the very first day that I am doing a full day of streaming. That's right, everybody. That is right. Thank you very much for being here. So how is today going to go down? A few things. First of all, we're going to start off with Sniper Elite 3, which I'll be honest with you guys is a pretty bad game. I mean, I'm very disappointed with it, simply because I played Sniper Elite 2 about 2 years ago, and that was the first game in the series that I actually tried out, and I actually enjoyed it. I thought that the X-ray sniping mechanic was quite good. I thought that the layout of the challenge of the stages was good as well. And being that, you know, in that game you were in Europe, had a unique kind of feeling, being that it wasn't just a first-person shooter, run-and-gun, FPS, World War II era epic like most of these games end up being. It was actually an interesting third-person shooter with some different mechanics to it. But this game, unfortunately, you know, was just not up to par at all. I mean, first of all, the whole setting of Africa, not very exciting. I thought at first it may be an interesting premise to do a game, but honestly, it really has not panned out in any kind of a positive way. Just seems like a lot of these stages end up being kind of more of the same. The fact that not the sneaking mechanics. That's what I want to kind of emphasize here. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, Phil isn't good at sneaking games, so he's not going to like Sniper Elite 3 because it's a lot of sneaking. I say not so. First of all, Sniper Elite 2, I enjoyed, and that had a lot of sneaking mechanics. There's a lot of games I've played that had sneaking mechanics, and even though I may not be the best at them, I still enjoy the games. In this case, it's not even the sneaking mechanics that I dislike, it's the fact that the game just seems to have big, unpolished issues. So, for example, why is it that your very first tank fight in the game basically says, use your binoculars to find the weak points of the tank and shoot them. So you look, and you shoot each weak point once, and the tank doesn't blow up. Come to find out you needed to shoot the same weak point multiple times. It's like, well, why didn't you just fucking say that? Instead of telling me I had to hit all the weak points, right?
Well,
then there was...
Here's the thing. I played a little bit of Sniper Elite 3, so I think I remember this, I think. But when you look at the points on the tank, you keep shooting the weak point until that point disappears, and then you move on to the other points. You know what I'm saying? It was going to take more than one shot, you would think, with a level of realism, if you will. Did he not realize that? Like, if you go ahead and go through the binoculars, look at the point, shoot the point, and then the icon is still there, then what does that tell you? Oh, comprehension is not a thing, apparently.
This other fight the other day that I was doing, where you're supposed to be covering some prisoner who's supposed to be escaping. The game continuously bugged out and had one or two dudes who apparently were down there fighting the guy, but never really went into view or never spawned properly. And I had to blow up a truck that was stationary, had no one in it. Once I blew up the truck, the prisoner decided to finally leave. It's like, why did I have to blow up a stationary truck that has nothing whatsoever to do with what's going on down there? It just made no fucking sense. And this is the kind of stuff that's frustrating as hell. And it's just like, what happened here? Like, these are things that could have easily been polished out of the game with just a little bit more effort. And these are the things that really contribute to the game being annoying and frustrating. So, it's not, the sneaking mechanics...
Maybe they wanted you to destroy the truck, because even if you do snipe out the few combatants or the ops that decide to come at the prisoner that you're supposed to be covering, if some of them end up getting into the truck and they go after him, they're more than likely going to retrieve him. So they want you to cut off all avenues, I would think. Right? I don't know. What makes sense to us doesn't always make sense to everybody else, I suppose.
The game just doesn't have enough polish, in my opinion. It really could have done with some more, so another hand, another look. Have an outsider take a look at this game and say what would frustrate them, because you can really tell it's probably the game developers knew what to do, so they could get through those portions of the game no problem. But for someone who's playing it for the first time, it's just
what about
trial
game
and
testers,
error.
Phil? You do realize that's a thing, right? Oh boy. Oh boy.
Frustration, quite honestly.
But then again, ladies and gentlemen, this leads into the overall problem with Phil Burnell, DSP, Darksydephil. Actually, Darksydephil, because he used to be on a cocktail of medication. But and then all the Karen activities he's had lately. He needs to chill the fuck out. But DSP, Darksydephil, Phil Burnell, Darksydephil, Dark Geppetto, those two, I'm going to take ownership of those two things, since I theoretically came up with them. At least at the moment. I'm sure Darksydephil probably got used before me, but if not, I claim it. As well as Dark Geppetto. The thing is, he wants gaming to be just brain dead easy. That's really what it is. He doesn't want any challenge. He doesn't want any conflict. He doesn't want any resistance. It just has to be easy. It has to be easy and fun. And at times that can be boring. Like, what good is a game if you're not getting any challenge out of it that promotes some type of growth? Right? Like, who wants to play a game once and then just go ahead and move on to the next game mindlessly like that? That's not fun. And that, in general, comes out to be a waste of money. But for Phil Burnell, DSP, Darksydephil, Dark Pill, Dark Geppetto, it does make sense because, oh, I got to move on to the next game because this is what I do for my job. That's what I do for a business. And then he can go ahead and rehash it later as a summer of retro or a retrospective playthrough or redemption run. You kind of seeing the trend. You know what I'm saying? You guys seeing how this is all working out? You guys following the bacon grease or the bacon bit trail, if you will? Jesus Christ. He never played games for fun. And the moment he turned this shit into a job, he became miserable. All of the telltale signs are here. As I've said, and I'm on record for saying this, YouTube money, I think, for sure, was the worst thing that ever happened to Phil Burnell. It was the worst thing. Because it's not just the fact that he couldn't handle the money, but it didn't help him grow at all. If anything, he regressed in a lot of ways doing it this way. I can understand that he would think, oh, it's an easy job and it'd be fun and so on and so forth, but he didn't add anything to it because he really couldn't. And everything that he did try to add to it got used against him later. It's being used against him to this very day, to be honest. And he didn't learn anything. It was just everybody else's fault. It's the platform's fault. It's the people on the platform that are successful. It's the viewer's fault. It's the game publisher's fault. It's the game developer's fault. It's the game writer's fault. It's the game reviewer's fault. It's everybody's fault but his. He didn't learn anything. And then the money, well, you guys saw what the money did to him.
But, that being said, it's not a bad game, and especially if you were a fan of the previous games, you'll probably still like it, but I don't think that this is anything that anyone has to run out and buy, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, but it's probably going to be a game that drives the series down, because it's definitely nowhere near as good as Part 2 was. And that's a shame. That really is a shame when you see a game that, the second installment, well, by no means was it Game of the Year material, but I still thought it was pretty solid. This one, I have to say, I don't think so. I think that it's not really worth your time unless you're a fan of the series, because it really didn't put enough polish or effort into it. And, that's
which
really...
Which he clearly exposed himself, because people who play, more often than not, people who are really entrenched into Sniper's Elite are a fan of the series. Phil isn't. He's someone who came in during 2, liked it, probably because it was easy on him, or he had it on an easy setting, or whatever the case may be. It was tolerable, I guess. He goes into number 3 thinking it's going to be the same thing, and it's not. And so that's why we have all these complaints. He's not a fan of series. And this is something that's been said before. He's not a fan of particular series. He doesn't hold any loyalty to anything, essentially. He's a fan of certain games. Certain games that don't put him in a completely shitty light, I should say. A game that he does genuinely enjoy, and one that he can profit from. I would say those are the 3 main criterias that Phil Burnell falls into. Outside of that, he has no loyalty to anything. At all. Which is the reason why he's so bad at games. And he's never gotten better. That's the crazy part. He's never really gotten better. Yes, he does well at some games better than others if he's not cheating or if he's not being held. But overall, he's just generally bad at it. And it's okay to be bad at it. But don't try to defend that. You know what I mean? You're bad, you're bad. Or if you're being lazy, you're lazy. Or if you're sitting here playing games because you're drunk, you know what I mean? Because you being drunk was the only way to let the game be entertaining to you and get by, then don't make excuses for that. That's what you did. Something to think about.
Sad state of the game at this point. So anyway, Sniper Elite 3 will be on this first stream, and I'm going to try to finish it. I got about maybe 4 to 4.5 hours to stream here. And I do realize, don't worry, I do realize, yes, I am starting. I said I would start around 2:30. I did technically start the stream around 2:30, but obviously I'm not starting gameplay yet. I am a little bit behind. It's going to take a while for me to get back into the swing of things and get used to the schedule. In fact, right now we're having problems because we cannot seem to get the day over with to the point where we can fall asleep at a reasonable hour and then be able to get up in time for me to stream earlier on. Because keep in mind, I'm on the West Coast now, so for me to start streaming at, let's say, 1:30 p.m. would mean that I'm up at 10:30 in the morning, and actually earlier than that, because keep in mind, I gotta get up, use the bathroom, breakfast, whatever I need to do before I start working. And last night we couldn't even fall asleep till after 4 in the morning, seriously, because we were out We went out and spent some time with Carol Ann, Carrie, and a few other guys from this area who, you know, Carrie and Carol Ann being OJ's girlfriend, were in the area because they were here for a BronyCon. And, you know, they were here to sell stuff, and then they were here a couple extra days. And so we went to this gamer/geek bar, and I know that sounds really weird, but in Seattle they have this kind of stuff. And so they have this bar where basically it's geek chic, meaning all the walls were covered with Doctor Who stuff, Star Wars, video games, all the food and drinks were themed like that. I didn't film anything because, let's be honest, it was the first time I was out with these people. I didn't necessarily want to be like, oh yeah, now let's make this socially awkward by filming the whole fucking thing. But the thing is, I didn't even know this bar is 2 miles away from our house. No kidding. 2 miles away from our house. So we can definitely go back there in the future to try out the whole menu, and I will definitely vlog this place eventually. I just didn't want to do it this first time, especially with some people I'd never met before. And be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to film everything. You know, that would have been weird.
That'd have been weird, but yet you did that with John, Howard, OJ all the time. No, you didn't want to see him like a fucking exploitive fuck, right? And make OJ think that, oh wow, you haven't changed despite the fact that you've moved. I guess. Let me see when this is again. This is July of 2014. So yeah, so him and Panda definitely had already moved at this point. Jesus Christ! But let's go back though. You know what I'm saying? Since I like the replay function, the rewind function, if you will, to hear it. I might have gone too far, but that's my thing. So you know how that works.
Other guys from this area who, you know, Carrie and Carol Ann being OJ's girlfriend, were in the area because they were here for a BronyCon. And, you know, they were here to sell stuff, and then they were here a couple extra days. And so we went to this gamer
OJ makes candles, doesn't he? He makes and sells candles? I think. Something like that. He used to craft something. So, that's cool.
Bar, and I know that sounds really weird, but in Seattle they have this kind of stuff. And so they have this bar where basically it's geek chic, meaning all the walls were covered with Doctor Who stuff, Star Wars, video games, all the food and drinks were themed like that. I didn't film anything because, let's be honest, it was the first time I was out with these people. I didn't necessarily want to be like, oh yeah, now let's make this socially awkward by filming the whole fucking thing. But the thing is, I didn't even know this bar is 2 miles away from our house. No kidding. 2 miles away from our house. So we can definitely go back there in the future to try out the whole menu, and I will definitely vlog this place eventually. I just didn't want to do it this first time, especially with some people I'd never met before. And be like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to film everything. You know, that would have been weird. So,
interesting way of looking at it. But I don't know if we ever even got those vlogs. I'll take a look because that might be interesting. I like the concept of a kind of like a geek chic type themed bar, if you will, and whatnot. The ambiance to something like that would probably be pretty cool. If any of you guys have ever been to bars that are like a bar / arcade, that's actually a pretty cool thing to go to too, if you guys have ever gone to one of those. I'm not going to shit on him too much on the fact that they just discovered this place 2 miles away from his house, despite the fact that he had probably only lived there for like 3 months at the time. Maybe. It might have been like 2 or 3 months. We can let him go on that. So that's not that big of a deal, in my personal opinion. But, yet again, though, it just goes to show what kind of things that were around him and still are, that are still very much around this idiot, and he's never gone to it. Because whether he's scared, or whether he just doesn't, or that was Panda, who was kind of the driving force around them going out and doing shit and not Phil, who could say? Because I know Phil says quite a bit that Leanna was the adventurous type, and in more ways than one, I'm sure. And Phil was the homebody, and that's just boring as shit. You know what I mean? So yet again, another opportunity to go to Seattle. Could vlog around that bitch all day. Didn't really do it. You know what I'm saying? Didn't take advantage of a lot of the history that Seattle had, a lot of its culture. He could have, there could have been an amazing amount of stuff that he could have done and didn't do it. And the reason why is he wasn't comfortable with it, which makes you wonder, why the fuck did you move all the way out there anyway? It's weird. He sat there and tried to exploit most of Connecticut, but didn't want to do shit in Seattle, outside of a few places.
Anyway, so we did that last night, and then I didn't. Unfortunately, we got back late.
They went out there to BronyCon or some shit like that. I never took OJ as a brony, but whatever. Whatever.
We had stuff to do, and it was like we could not fall asleep. So this is the problem. We need to get into a sleep schedule, where we are not going out and doing stuff late every night, and then so we can get tired at the right time, go to sleep, wake up earlier, and I can start streaming at the right time again. So we're going to get there. Like I've said all over the course of this week, we're going to get there. It's a transitional period right now where I am getting adjusted to everything going on. And, it's going to get better. It is going to definitely get back to how things were. But it's going to be, some time here, some adjustment time.
But things aren't going to go back to the way they used to be because your situation is different. So now you have to transition to something new. Like I said, I just gave him credit for, which, as I've also told you guys, never do that. But I just gave him credit saying that, he's been out there for 2 or 3 months, or they had been out there 2 or 3 months, and they haven't had a chance to actually go out and look for new bars or some unique haunts or places to go to. I can let him slide on that. But this idiot hasn't figured out a sleep schedule in 3 months? Come on, man. Like stop. Just stop. Please stop.
But today is the first day of full streaming, meaning this first stream will be 4 to 4.5 hours of Sniper Elite 3. My goal is to possibly beat it. I've heard that I've got 4 chapters left, or 4 stages left, and being that each stage has been roughly taking me about an hour or so to beat, there's a chance that I may beat it on stream today, which would be great. And then I'm going to take a break, probably anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, and then around 9 p.m. EDT, which is Eastern Time, tonight I'll be starting The Wolf Among Us Episode 5, the conclusion to the epic episodic Telltale Games, game of The Wolf Among Us, which we've been playing all the way since the fall of last year. The final episode has been released. I have not gotten to play it yet because I bought it on Xbox 360, and Xbox 360 unfortunately didn't get it until today. So I'll be doing that on second stream tonight, just so everyone is caught up on what exactly is going on today. And for video-wise today on YouTube, literally within 4 minutes, new videos of Valiant Hearts will be going up on YouTube. I believe I have 8 or 9 new parts going up there. It's about almost another 2 hours of footage that'll be going live on DSP Gaming. So if you have not checked out Valiant Hearts yet, I recommend you do. It's probably one of the best indie style. I don't want to call it indie because it's not really indie. Ubisoft made it, but digital download games. One of the best ones of those that I've played in a while. Great art design using the Ubi art engine. Great World War I story with lots of historical facts and stuff tying into it. A unique cast of characters. I haven't gotten to the end yet. I'm in chapter 3 of 4. And so one more stream, I probably will beat that game. And by the way, that is going to be tomorrow's main gameplay stream, will be the conclusion of Valiant Hearts. So you definitely want to check that out here tomorrow. But yeah, that is going to be tomorrow. And the new videos are going up this afternoon. So if you get a chance, you want to watch Valiant Hearts, you can head over to DSP Gaming and do so. Okay? And then later tonight, of course, after the Wolf Among Us stream, I will upload those videos to DSP Gaming as well. So we've got a full day of content. You may be saying to yourself, well, wait a minute, Phil didn't mention Sniper Elite 3 at all in there. The Sniper Elite 3 videos will upload tomorrow. Depending on how many I make today, I may split it up over a day or two. Keep in mind that tomorrow there's only one gameplay stream because I am going to be doing the very first episode of Hate Live ever from my new home in Washington State. And so since I am doing Hate Live tomorrow, it's only one gameplay stream, I'll balance the day between Sniper Elite 3 videos and Valiant Hearts videos on DSP Gaming, so we have 2 playthroughs to balance it out, okay? So that's the rough plan right now for you guys. Hope that you're enjoying this week so far. Okay. And, it is a slow week, let's be honest here. Nothing really that we're doing besides The Wolf Among Us tonight is new. Sniper Elite 3 is a week old. Valiant Hearts is a week or two old. You know, I was busy. I was moving. So I want to say thank you to any of you who are watching the content. Maybe you said, well, you know, I've already seen someone else play this because I didn't want to wait for when DSP came back. I fully understand that. Listen, I knew the move was going to have those kinds of effects. That is perfectly fine. I'm not going to be you know, bitter about the fact that someone may have watched the playthroughs elsewhere. I wasn't expecting sky-high views on anything this week, regardless, being that we are in the middle of the dead summer. Here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. It's July. It's the dead summer when game development companies decide they don't want to release games for some reason. I don't know why that is, but this is we're now entering that time frame, right? And there's a strong chance that probably, you know, we're not going to see any major games until September. In fact, that's what a lot of people have been saying is, wow, until Destiny comes out in September, it's going to be pretty dead. I'll be doing my best.
So then why don't you stretch your gameplay videos out? See, he's not thinking about that. How is it that you've been doing this long, and you realize that the summer, at least in his opinion, is a dead time for games that he doesn't want to play, right? Or for games that he wants to play that aren't available. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you should stretch your uploads out a little bit over some of those months, so you're not struggling and or forcing yourself to play through games that you don't really want to play, and that shit transitions through, or it projects through your actual videos, your content, if you will. Content. Jeez. Man, that business degree is really fucking useless. Holy shit.
I'll be doing my best to try and keep you entertained over, you know, this month or two of the summer that traditionally is slow. A lot of people have been asking me, what are my plans for the summer? Last year, if you remember, I did the Summer of Retro. But a lot of people are saying, well, Phil, you have other projects you've been working on, like Oblivion you haven't played in 100 years. And you were playing Tales of Symphonia, and you stopped playing that to play the Final Fantasy X HD. Are you going back to that? And the answer is I don't know yet. That's the very honest answer. I don't know what I'm going back to. I don't know what the schedule exactly is going to be yet, because I'm just settling back in as we speak. Literally, I'm settling back in to doing daily streams. So, I will obviously in the next week or two have a better answer for you. Yesterday, I dug out my gaming calendar, which I have not even hung up yet. I'm planning on possibly hanging that up tonight and going through it, and I need to update it, because I have not updated the gaming planner now, the gaming calendar, for months. Okay, and I don't even know, since E3 I haven't even really updated it. So I'm sure there's tons of games that now have solid release dates that I just did not put on the calendar yet, and I need to get them on there, because the bottom line is I need to get my butt to GameStop in the next week and reserve all the games for the rest of the year, which I haven't done yet. So that's coming, and I will be doing an update video of that to explain to you guys.
And this is conducting business, ladies and gentlemen. This is us being a business owner. Been lounging around for the last month or two. Instead of, I understand that he couldn't get his studio ready and all that stuff, but Jesus Christ, get the peripherals and everything you need lined up. Like, did you even go by your local GameStop yet? Have you gone in? Have you talked to them? Have you... I mean, I'm not expecting him to go in there and flex about, hey, do you know who I am? I'm Darksydephil from DSP Gaming. I have 160,000 views, you know, or 160,000 subs or whatever. Like, that means anything. I mean, just get an idea for, like, what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? What are, like, how that GameStop works compared to something on the East Coast. Get to know some of the people there, since that's a place you're going to frequent. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. You could start building relationships, if you will, doing that. How many GameStops are around you? Maybe you should go ahead and take a look at a few of them. See who does what, because every GameStop, believe it or not, does things slightly differently. I don't know. It's just, you would think for someone who does this as his job, which is his business, he would have more forethought with some of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Even back then. But he didn't, which only reinforces why he's the failure that he is now. It's tragic if it was somebody else, but since it's him, it's expected.
Especially what games I'll be playing, when I'll be doing them, and we'll see if maybe we can get some special stuff going on like we did last year for the summer to keep you guys occupied, because quite honestly, a dead summer pretty much. I mean, there are going to be games, a few games here and there, but it's not like nowhere near where you have like game after game after game after game where we've been busy, especially like the months of March and then the month of May into June. Those 2 little spurts, we had so many freaking games coming out, and now it seems like it's definitely slowing down again until probably we head into the hardcore gaming season later this year, okay? Now, I want to say, I want to announce this basically, that we do have a few new people who are going to be moderators, okay, on the stream shortly and starting right now. And the reason I say this is because, you know, I will be the very first person to admit I've been very lax when it comes to my streams on Twitch TV, okay? I have not really put a lot of time and effort into finding dedicated staff who want to be here to not only watch
they're not really dedicated staff, Phil, because if they were, that means they'd be employed by you, which means they'd be paid or compensated in some way. That's the first thing. Secondly, there wasn't a lot of financial incentive outside of subs for him at this time, and that's the reason why he didn't take Twitch seriously, which is a shame when you think about it in hindsight, because if he had stuck in there all those years, because, you know, like he likes to sit there and say, oh, I've been streaming for 7 years or whatever the dumb shit he tries to say now. In actuality, it's a lie. Yeah, he's been streaming for 7 years, but he wasn't streaming on Twitch. He was jumping between platforms, which is something that it's a detail, if you will, that he does not divulge. But if he had stuck with Twitch, you know what I'm saying, they, to some degree, would take his loyalty into consideration a little more. Now, that doesn't really matter, because when he gets in trouble, he slips out of shit anyway, in an ungodly manner. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost unholy in and how he gets out of trouble on Twitch. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But, yet again, if he could have he left for a stupid-ass reason, and if he had just stuck in there, who knows where he could have been now. Was he going to be big like Lyric, or, Merc, Ninja, Shroud, any of those guys? No, hell no. But I feel like he would have progressed a little better. I think if he was evolving... Actually, I'm going to contradict myself, because actually I know that's not true. Theoretically, if he was growing with the rest of those streamers, he would have evolved and he would have been willing to try more, just like they did. But in actuality, that's a lie. I'm going to catch myself now and say that's a lie, because look at what happened on YouTube. He was there at the forefront for a lot of that shit and still didn't convert over. Didn't see any value in it and ended up being left in the dust. So, scratch that.
To moderate the streams, okay? I'll be honest, a lot of the people who previously had been modded weren't even modded by me, they were modded by John Rambo. There were people who were fans of Rambo who would come over and watch my stream on Saturday when Rambo was over for Smart Guys or to do co-op, and they asked him if they could be a mod, and he would just mod them, and then basically I wouldn't demod them, I just let them be mods, and I'll be, you know, some of the people who've been mods
Rambo
for
was
months,
the draw. So Rambo was the real draw on Saturdays. Keep that in mind. Take it all in, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, when did they become a mod? It wasn't me. And I mean, I'm not complaining. We needed mods, and so John, you know, thought, okay, big deal, let's just mod these people. Unfortunately, a few of them did not pan out very well. In fact, a few of them, unfortunately, became pretty damn childish, and, you know, started to join in with a lot of the bullshit that we don't want here. Namely, you know, the stupid people who like to do childish montages of me failing in games and stuff like that, and just being so wrapped up in childish drama that they just weren't being effective mods anymore. Really. Like, there were entire streams where people would come in here and flood the chat with bullshit, and then I would get complaints afterwards. Phil, did you know that during today's stream when you were playing the game that there were 5 mods on the stream and no one did anything and there was all this trolling and stuff going on? Like, I don't know, because I'm not constantly looking at the stream chat. And I got so many complaints about certain people that I said enough is enough, and that's it, you're gone. So now what I'm basically doing is looking for new moderators for the stream
Jesus
chat.
Christ, that happens now. He's like Alinity and Pink Sparkles. Like, he goes through fucking mods like they go through panties during a stream. Jesus Christ. Oh, shit. Like on some Zoe Burger shit. Well, when she was relevant. Yikes.
We have two new people who've been modded. Okay. CD, and I know he has numbers, I think it's like CD2112, but I always call him CD. He's a frequent stream viewer and poster on the forums as well as Biohazard Asian. He's also a very frequent stream viewer. I see him all the time. And being that these guys watch streams frequently, I'm giving them the chance to see how they do as moderators, and they are modded today. And it's their trial, basically. We'll give them a few days. They don't have to watch every stream, obviously, but we're going to see how often do they attend. When they attend, are they actively modding, and how good of a job are they doing? So if things are going swimmingly, and over the next several days they prove themselves to be, reliable, they may become permanent mods. For now, it's just a trial, okay? This is, by the way, this is the time of the year to do it when it is slow, right? It's not like there's some big playthrough coming out, and now all of a sudden I got trial mods. It's no. Slower time of the year, not going to be a lot of people on the stream regardless because of the games and stuff that I'm playing. Now is the time to do stuff like this. So I want to say thanks to both of them. Thanks to both of them for being here and for volunteering. Let's see how they do. And again, there's a strong possibility I'll be looking for more people who are frequent stream viewers who want to step up to the plate and possibly be mods, okay? So that's the deal. That's what's going on right now. I just want to let everyone know, if you're wondering, gee, when did they get modded? Who are they? That's what's going on, okay?
I guess this is before you had to pay to play. So, because now mods are allegedly, at least some of them are, paying tribute behind the scenes to become mods. Not actually, Straight Cash Homie actually just threw up a bunch of money up front, to be honest. Swaggins actually threw a bunch of money up front and allegedly behind the scenes. But then again, he's trying to chase Vidal, and we all saw where that went. But then there are a couple mods, though, that did pay to play, so it is what it is. Wow. Which is, my bad, real quick, which is funny, too, because there are a couple of female streamers. I don't know if they stream anymore, but a couple years ago, they used to frequent every once in a while. And they used to have a mod staff, maybe an actual mod staff of like 5 people. And they rotated, there used to be usually 2 or 3 of them on a stream at any given time. But there was always at least somebody there. And what these streamers did is they would cut them in on the profits. So like at the end of the week, these few female streamers used to cut them in on a portion of the money. And then what these mods would do is take that money and then flip it back into subscriptions for themselves, and then gift subs out to other people. So it was just a constant circle, if you will, of a financial pool, right? They were always giving back, if you will, to the stream. And Phil don't see no value in it, so he don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, not everybody does it that way. Not everybody needs to do it that way. But you would think for Phil, who's so financially hung up, right, and is in all these financial straits, you would think giving gifted subs, doing some small shit to give back, to really give back, would be a thing, instead of stuffing your face instead of doing things that only benefit you. You know what I'm saying? Like when the vest streak thing was a thing, and he used to do the vest celebrations. Oh, I'm going to order food for a DSP Tries It. I'm going to get myself something from Starbucks. And then watch a bunch of videos that glorify, as if there's anything to glorify with him, to glorify his existence. But what did that really do for the audience? Oh, they're happy because Phil's happy? Come on, Mike.
People here who used to be here all the time who aren't here anymore. Because they got the boot to their ass because they were being childish little idiots, instead of the reason to freaking be here, which is to watch the stream, enjoy it, and moderate. They were doing other stuff. And it's like, well, why did you ask to be a mod if you were just going to ignore everything going on? And you got to the point where some of them were actively participating in it, and that was the last straw. So that's where I draw the line. When I got a mod who decides they're going to actively participate in fucking trolling. Like, dude, are you that fucking stupid? I guess so. So anyway, enough about that. Just wanted to explain exactly what's going on so you understand. Okay? Alright. So, that is the deal. And we're about to get started with Sniper Elite 3. As I said, we're going to be playing about 4 to 4.5 hours. Unless we beat it before that. If we beat it early, so be it. Great. But I just wanted to let everyone know that is the agenda. That's what's going on today. What the hell? My phone just had a weird error. Like, okay. Okay, so let's get started. There's one final thing I want to say, and then we're going to get started. Actually, two quick things. One thing, I am expecting a call from the car dealership where I received my new car from this past Monday, because there's some paperwork missing. Basically, I need some paperwork in order to register this thing in the state of Washington, and I seriously don't see any of this paperwork that I'm supposed to have. So in that regards, I don't know what's going on, and I don't know why I didn't get the paperwork, and I'm asking them where it is. So I might get a phone call during the stream, and if that call comes in, I don't necessarily have to stop. Okay. But during a break or whatever, I may be calling him back, so there may be a break that ends up going a little bit long. That's number one. Number two, Leanna is not home today. She's out and about. She's actually testing out the bus system here in Washington. So she's out and about, but there's a chance that, you know, if something goes wrong and she ends up calling me or texting me and needs a ride or needs help, something goes wrong with these buses, you know, I may have to do that. We're not foreseeing that happening. That would obviously be in an emergency, but we are hoping that everything goes swimmingly and that there's no issues. So there you have it. I just want to let you go and let guys know what's going on, because there may be interruptions, although I'm not foreseeing them having to happen. Okay. And then last but not least, and then we're going to get started, is that I do want to say thank you to those of you who have resubscribed now that I've begun consistently streaming on a daily basis again. There were, basically we had up to almost 240 paid subscribers here on Twitch TV as of last month before I started moving and stopped streaming. And when I came back and started streaming again this past weekend, it was down to 160. I shit you not, a good 80 people dropped out of the subscription program because I had stopped consistently streaming. Now listen, I'm not complaining. If I'm not streaming, why are you going to pay to get benefits for a guy who's not streaming and you're not getting your benefits? It doesn't make sense, right? But I am back, so I want to say thank you very much to everyone who has resubscribed. There has been a chunk of people who over the past couple of days have started watching the streams again and have resubscribed. Okay, for those of you who haven't, just want to say, you know, think about it, because we were so close. We were literally on the precipice of hitting 250, which meant that I could have gotten better emotes, we could have gotten better stuff for the stream, and then it kind of got a big step back when all these people did not resubscribe while I was in the process of moving and didn't have internet and stuff. So please consider redoing that. Obviously, it directly helps me. It helps you by giving you all kinds of benefits, like subscriber-only mode chat, access to those emotes, and, you know, exclusive access to giveaways in the future. And, of course, you know, it supports me with all the stuff that, unfortunately, I've been dumping money into with this move, including a new upgrade of equipment, which, by the way, I've received the new capture devices that I will be messing with next week when I receive my new PC. To see if I could do 1080p capture and 60 frames per second capture and streaming as well. Next week's going to be an interesting week messing around with that stuff for sure. So, that being said, let's get started, right? Enough dilly-dallying. I know that, you know, the pre-streams the past couple days have ended up going a little long. That's because I have a lot to talk about. Don't worry. They'll get back to normal soon. All right, everyone. I say enough of this. Let's end the pre-stream and let's get started with Sniper Elite 3.
he kind of low-key did blame them, to be honest with you, for not resubscribing. Because it sounds like there was a large amount of people who did, but there's like 80 people who didn't. And with the move and everything like that, I'm sure he's been updating people on Twitter and on his forums. He was like, hey, I probably really need the support, so on and so forth. And those people still dropped off anyway. And yeah, he kind of did low-key blame them for taking back their pledges, or not their pledges, but resubscribing, because, well, yeah, you're not doing shit. Yeah, I understand that it might help you either which way, but, you haven't been streaming for like a month or more. I mean, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all about recognition, right, Phil? So he kind of did low-key blame them. That's kind of hilarious. Just show what kind of scumbag he is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a second to go ahead and square up, or straighten this up, I should say. Give you final thoughts, and I will let you guys go. Oh, wow. All right, so where do we end this? Okay, so he's been over there for a couple months. Now I think about it, didn't he moved over there in like, I think he actually moved to Washington State in like June, I think, maybe. So I might have actually, because I said he was there for like 3 months. I think he might have actually moved in June. So that means he would have only been there for like a month and some change or whatever. And he was completely unprepared. I've gone over that. You can see that in the Darksydephil Panda Leave, their first stream from Washington. It goes over all that. So my apologies on that. But just completely unprepared, and expected people to support him either which way, which is hilarious. Also, just thought about it. I was thinking, jokingly, of course, if anybody has actually said Darksydephil before this moment. I feel like they haven't, but if they have, then so be it. If they haven't, you know where you heard it. I'm surprised no one made that actually beforehand when he told us about the cocktail of medications. That's just hilarious. I'm surprised people passed that up. Anyway, but maybe someone did. So credit where credit's due. In any case, what are our overall thoughts? I mean, yet again, he was lazy. He wasn't prepared. He didn't plan out shit. And it's someone who, yet again, has been coddled by his parents. And they've been known to do everything. And now he was forced to do things himself and had no fucking clue. Can't blame Leanna. And the fact that, yet again, he didn't tell Leanna to get her license before leaving Pennsylvania to move over there to Connecticut. I mean, to move over there to Washington State blows my mind. Blows my mind. You know what I'm saying? So you got her running around doing the bus system thing, right? But then again, I think she eventually did that to get to her driving classes and whatnot leading up to her getting her license. But yet again, that still is a step that could have been avoided, because he easily could have just dropped her off in the morning, right? And then picked her up before he started streaming. Problem solved. But whatever. It is what it is, I guess. Having a backup's never a bad thing. But yet again, a little bit of planning would have gone a long way. His complaints on Sniper Elite 3, tomato, whatever. He's going to bitch about any little thing. And the thing about the mods, they're bored. And they're kids. And when they get restless, they're going to go ahead and kind of conversate amongst themselves. And as you know, if Darksydephil is not the center of the conversation, then problems arise. And it's some of that same bitching that you're hearing here that we hear now in our current timeline, which is even more amazing, because history does repeat itself. And that's why history is a great teacher. He doesn't stray too far from the fucking path. He's too predictable. He's too conditioned. So It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, whenever that may be, hopefully sooner than later. This is DSP News 2nd Edition. This is the Gout Report, brought to you by Snortbucks Coffee. The best coffee. Take care of yourselves, guys. Later. Oh my god. Oh, and big ups to LD. Remember, the original video will be down in the description. Check it out. Later.